For a period of time now, Kenyans have been left in dilemma, wondering whether the Orange Democratic Party is part of the government or is still part of Kenyan opposition. Because ever since they joined government, the ODM has been blowing hot and cold. We have leaders from the ODM who tell William Ruto that we will support you not only between now up to 2027, but even after 2027, we will still be with you. There is this narrative that is being driven that William Ruto, Raila, Davadi, Joho, Paranya, I don't know, are making something that looks like the 207 Pentagon. And there is this dirty politics of 43 against 1, that the whole country is uniting against the Mount Kenya nation. There is the issue of Ruto giving Raila support for the African Union Commission chairmanship. And we all know from where we sit that ever since the ODM donated some leaders to join the government, to join the cabinet, they annihilated the Gen Z protest. And the deals like Adani, somehow the ODM sanitized them. But we've also seen certain leaders that are criticizing the government, led by the ODM Secretary General Edwin Sifuna. Sifuna has been telling Kenyans that even if ODM supports William Ruto, as long as Ruto will not do the right thing, as long as William Ruto will not implement the promises that he gave Kenyans during campaigns, they will all go. James Orengo, who is the governor of Siaya County, has also been singing the same tune as SG, and is saying we need not to compromise. We are not going to sanitize William Ruto just because we donated some members to join the cabinet. But you see, many others are saying that, you know, these are statements that they are making. Why don't they make them in front of Raila so that we know where Raila stands? The other day, Raila was criticizing William, telling William Ruto, can you stop abductions? But at the same time, people feel he's the same man who thwarted the Gen Z protest. So, ladies and gentlemen, today Edwin Sifuna and James Orengo got an opportunity in front of Raila Odinga. And I don't know what people are going to say after this, because Edwin Sifuna bravely told people, in fact told Raila, that you gave me a party. You left me with instructions to ensure that I still lead a party that is strong, that speaks or checks the government, that speaks on behalf of the weak, the minority, and the downtrodden. And I want you to listen to Edwin Sifuna being supported by Orengo and tell me what you make out of the sentiments, because people are confused. Who is fooling who? Kindly subscribe to our channel and click the notification bell. Please like and share our videos. It goes a long way in promoting the channel. Thank you for your continued support. Kindly listen to Sifuna.
Bishop has challenged us as leaders to do what? To stand up and speak truth to power. When something is wrong, we all have a responsibility to say that it is wrong. Mheshimiwa Raila Odinga, wewe sahi ulisema unaenda kutafuta kiti ya AU. And as your Secretary General, there are instructions you left to me. I don't know if ODM has more than one Secretary General. I am the only one. You told me that we must retain the identity of the political party called ODM as a beacon of hope for Kenyans, chama ambacho kitasimama na haki kila siku, mvua ije ama jua ije. Hiyo ndio instructions uliniwachia. Baba, nataka niseme kama katibu wako, ukienda AU upate ukose, mimi nitakurudishia chama chako jinsi ambavyo uliniwachia. Jinsi ambavyo uliniwachia. Baba, kuna watu wananiambia ati tukiona mtu kama huyu rafiki yangu Kiborek na wenzake wanasimama wanasema 2027 kura ya Ruto isipotosha watajaza. Ati ninyamaze tu nitakuharibia kura ya AU. Wanasema baba, saa hii tukiona unafiki ambao uko kwa serikali, wanasema wachukue hata watoto ya watu wanawashika, hawawaleti kotini, wanapotelea huko, abductions zinazidi, ati SG wako anyamaze kwa sababu nitakuharibia kura ya AU. Baba, watoto wamefungua shule saini wiki mbili. Serikali kuu haijatuma pesa ya capitation, wananiambia Sifuna nyamaza, unaharibia baba kura ya AU. Bishop, wacha kama Mungu atanipiga radi nikufe, anipige tu. Lakini vile umeniambia leo, nitasimama kwa ukweli. Kama mambo ni mbaya katika taifa letu, lazima tutasema mambo ni mabaya. Baba, mambo hayako mazuri hapa Kenya na lazima tutaendelea kuzungumza. Ndugu yangu Kiborek, wewe unasema tupe William Ruto nafasi afanye kazi yake. Akikampeni yeye mwenyewe ndiye alituambia akiweka Biblia chini. Akiweka Biblia chini inamaanisha nini? Kwani unachukua miaka 10 kuweka Biblia chini? Sio sisi tulisema, ni yeye mwenyewe alisema ako na mpango, anajua kazi, akiweka Biblia chini atatatua hii maneno. Kwa hivyo tukimkosoa, tunamkosoa kwa maneno yake mwenyewe. Kwa hayo mengi, mimi naomba huyu Roslyn, I pray that Roslyn will continue to be proud of the people she has left behind, including members of my party ODM. Vile Bishop umesema, sisi we must stop being sycophants. We must stop being sycophants. If something is wrong, it is wrong. Na mimi sitajiunga na hawa ndugu zetu wengine wa ODM, wameingiza mrija ndani ya serikali ya Ruto, wanavuta maziwa peke yao, alafu wanasema katibu mkuu anyamaze.
Plead with their people. Joluo, we have an identity. We have an identity. If you lose that identity for any easy victories, we are going to pay for it in future. Our loss of identity should never arise, and if we make compromises, there must be compromises that are justifiable before God and before justice, considerations of justice. Constitutions are never suspended. The law can never be suspended. You must always live by the dictates of the Constitution. If you suspend them, you may be happy now, but in the future, you regret. When Hitler formed his first government, it was a coalition. And that coalition died. Those parties completely died. So what I pray for is that the party called ODM, you can stand any storm. And even if you make compromises, you must make compromises on matters of principle. Not be part of praise and worship. We must stand firm. We must stand firm. We must stand firm. Even now in my chambers, I don't go to courts anymore. If I can tell you how many people come and say, can you go to court again? My little son, my little daughter was abducted. Kenya is crying. Kenya is crying that we must stop abductions. We must stop extrajudicial killing so that we can build a truly democratic republic. The word republic has a meaning which we can talk about another day. So on my part, I want my conscience to be clear. I want my conscience to be clear that when there were abductions, at least in a public place, I said no to abductions. And I'm saying this because Rosalind, this December, not 3 years ago, not 4 years ago, this December, she was telling the Republic of Kenya, the government Republic of Kenya, stop abductions, stop extrajudicial killing. And when she did that, they took away the money for the commission. Workers could not be paid. They could not carry out their work. And that is very normal in government. When there's too much sycophancy, people lose sight.
Ladies and gentlemen, what is your take on what is happening in ODM? Who is following who? What exactly is happening? Because Edwin Sifuna says he is the official spokesperson of the ODM. That when you see others talking, they are talking their own mind in their individual capacity, but that whatever they say is not the position of the party. We've always known Raila and the ODM as the person and the party that is always criticizing the ills in the country. They have always upheld the constitution. But of late, we have seen sentiments from members of parliament like Opondo Kaluma saying that some community, and they usually refer to the Mount Kenya community, that some people want us to stay in the position. They want us to go out to the streets to be killed while they enjoy the fruits of our hunting. That when people go for hunting, it is the ODM fraternity that will all be at the front line. But when they have caught this animal and they are now dividing, when they have their kill, other people will go with the kill, the parts of the kill, but they remain on the streets fighting. And so this has really confused the nation where the ODM stands. But if you want to know that there is a big dilemma, Orengo was telling them there, as a people, and in fact saying as a Luo. Remember, other Luo leaders are saying, hapana, hatutakuwa tunauawa kila siku pale barabarani, wakati wengine wanafurahia matokeo ya uchaguzi ama nini kama hiyo. But Orengo was telling them, as a Luo, we have an identity of fighting, of standing firm. When things are wrong, we don't need to compromise. That is what he's telling them. And I'm glad they were saying this in front of Raila Amolo Odinga. After this, I don't know, because many people are saying that, you know, the Secretary General will soon be sacked because he's not reading from the same page as Raila Amolo Odinga. I want to try and explain this. Number one, Raila going to the AUC is uncertain. We do not know the outcome. This is a competition, and like any competition, Raila can win or lose. Someone was telling me that this is a done deal, Raila has won, but I've heard that statement in 2007, 2013, 2017, 2022. It has always been imeenda. Then people come back and cry foul. So even on this one, we do not know. Raila does not want to put all his eggs in one basket, so that by the time, if in the event that he does not clinch that seat, he will come back. But when he comes back, he must start from somewhere. If he decides that he's not supporting William Ruto, then he will tell the people, all the other people who are talking are politicians and they have their own opinions. Like Raila says, this is a democratic party. He will explain to the people, my official position can only be referred to the Secretary General, who speaks the position of the party, and he will convince the people, that was my position. We have always told you that we are not with Ruto. And maybe that is what he's doing. Just to make sure that one foot is on AUC campaign, the other foot is back on the party, so that when he comes back, he will still find at least a door to enter so that he speaks with the Kenyans. There is another possibility that he just wants to hide. The ODM wants to hide. They are in government, they still want to hide that they are part of the opposition. Because by virtue of the fact that Azimio became the second coalition after UDA or Kenya Kwanza, then automatically they are counted to be part of the opposition. In theory, or on theory. But practically speaking, when you see ODM defends Adani deal when Kenyans reject it, When you see the ODM mum and mute about the constitution of the IEBC, we've always known Raila fiercely talking about the IEBC and the constitutional rights, then you know that something is wrong. Then you know that they might not be in or part of the position as we think. When you see people being abducted, then it takes time before Raila calls on the government. If you know Raila very well, can people get abducted for or maybe just 1 or 2 people before Raila calls for a press conference? No. This time around it took time, but I love the fact that he told William Ruto on his face. It is only Raila and Natembeya who has managed that you know, this must stop. So there could be, this could just be another, they're trying to hoodwink Kenyans that we are in a position, yet they are not, because they are blowing hot and cold. The other possibility, in my opinion, is that there are leaders in ODM who are sucked up, and whatever Raila says is final. And when they try to read, they feel Raila is in government, and so they don't want to go against it. While there are others like Sifuna who sees post-Raila leadership, and they know that the ground is waiting for them. You know, the ground is changing so much that in 2027, it might not be, I'm not saying it has to be, it might not be the usual narrative that Raila says left and people go left. We have reached a point where people are asking, what have you done to us? The fact that Raila joined the government is okay. Raila has nothing to lose. Raila has offered himself to this nation. He has contested, he has fought for the democratic space to be expanded. He has been detained. He gave us a new constitution and all that. He has nothing to lose. What about leaders, young leaders like Sifuna? What about Orengo, who wants to go and campaign for a second term in Siaya gubernatorial? I mean, and Orengo remembers how they fought for the second liberation. And they know that come 2027, it might not be business as usual. You are not going, for example, personally, you cannot come to me and sell to me this idea that Raila has said we vote for Mr. X and it has to be so. I will still ask you, I respect Raila, but what has Mr. So and so done to us? You cannot tell me that I have to vote for William Ruto because you don't love the Kikuyu nation, because you know Gachagua is tribal, the Kikuyu nation is entitled. That could be true, but is that a reason to vote for William Ruto? You cannot tell me to support abductions. Why? Because when Kibaki and Uhuru was in power, they abducted people and we never spoke about it, or people never spoke about it, and therefore it is right now because when it was happening during Uhuru regime, no one talked about it. So people are beginning to ask questions, and maybe people like Sifuna know very well that they will face the electorate. What if Raila clinches the AU seat and therefore in 2027 he will not be there to campaign for people, for these people who depend on him? What will you tell the electorates? What will be your reason for them to vote for you? This could be the reason why people like Sifuna are making that stand known. Do you think Raila can remove Sifuna? Because there's this discussion that maybe Sifuna is going against the tune of Raila. That maybe that is what Raila wants because they feel Raila is in bed with the government. But can Sifuna speak that which does not resonate well with Raila? I don't know. That's why there is a lot of confusion and dilemma. But today, Sifuna got that opportunity and he destroyed William Ruto in front of Raila. So many people have been saying, why don't you come and say it in front of Raila? And I heard people cheering him on. You know, that means people resonate well. The message resonated well with the people. I don't know. We're waiting to see what will happen in 2027. But I want to urge you to scrutinize your leaders. I want you to look at your leaders, what they offer on the table. If they have been elected before, they must come back and present and showcase what they have done. Otherwise, let them not be re-elected. What do you make out of the statements of Sifuna and the other leaders?